Welcome to 10K Tuesday. Woo! 10 Mile Tuesday, baby. 10 Mile Tuesday. Not 10K. Give me a 10K medallion. Well, I don't know what's going on. I ran 10 miles on this mug, man. 10 miles. You know why? Because I got some stuff to work out. And I'm turning toward my strengths. Literally running towards my strengths to work this stuff out. Come on, I'll tell you all about it. We'll figure this thing out. Maybe it'll help you out if you're going through some shit. All right, what do you do when you're being attacked for just being you? What do you do when your inner circle, when somebody in your inner circle has absolutely turned on you for no reason? Do you work at a job where your boss for some reason has singled you out as his whipping boy? Because he basically wanted to be a rock star and now he's the manager of a convenience store and you need the job, so he's bullying you. What do you do when, like, I don't know, say your dad doesn't speak to you because you all scratch a different box every 4 years during a presidential election? What do you do if you have a bipolar brother who can't hold a job and he's staying home taking care of your dad while he's draining his bank account? What do you do? And that sibling is lashing out at you because they basically won't, they know they have a mental illness and they won't take care of it. They won't take the medications. They want to self-medicate with fucking pot or whatever. That's obviously not working because they can't hold a fucking job. What do you do? What do you do? Because, I just moved to Virginia Beach. And you know what? I'm learning, like, hey, I've gotten flipped off and cussed out in traffic. Doesn't matter. I'll never see that person again. Doesn't matter. But when they're in your inner circle and you're tied to that person, what do you do? Among the shitty jobs that I've had, I worked at a call center for 4 years. I'm kind of proud of it because I calculated I took over 20,000 calls over a 4-year period. And they were inbound calls where I was getting my ass chewed out on a daily basis, trying to fix people's stupid TV. Anyway, I sat next to this girl and she was upset because the night before, she said her husband got drunk and he told her that he thought she was ugly and stupid and he wished he never married her. And I'll never forget what she said. She said, "You know what, Scott? Drunks don't lie. Drunks don't lie." That always stuck with me. And that, I'll never forget that. And it kind of ties into this fella named Robin Sharma. I've been kind of binging on his stuff lately. He said, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
Turns out he was quoting Maya Angelou.
The dad that won't speak to his son because he votes different every 4 years. Should we believe him? The bipolar brother who lashes out at the other brother and says he hates him. Do we believe him? Man, it's hard. It's freaking hard. And you know what? I say, yeah, we believe them. We believe who they are in this moment. They're not the same person they were 20 years ago. So we got to believe them. And we need to turn, it's not like, these textbook things where we can sit down and have a logical conversation and, like, Bob, I want to strive for a win-win situation here when the other person does not have the fucking capacity to think logically. How you can't reason with that. So I've been wrestling, I'm in somewhere in these situations that I'm trying to describe to you without, ratting somebody out or calling them by name. And if these videos I make, man, they got to help at least one person out there. If they help one person, it's worth it. Hopefully I'm getting out of the wind here. So I turn towards what gives me strength. That's why on Tuesdays, by the way, hello, my name is Scott, and on 10K Tuesdays, we always strive to run, we run 10K. We run 10 kilometers every Tuesday, and we're going to strive to make $10,000. I almost did it last week. I actually did it the following Wednesday, and the market kind of turned back on me and sort of evaporated those gains. I'm still right around the $5,000 mark where I was last week. If you care, you can watch the video. I show you all the charts and graphs and shit. Anyway, day trading and making money isn't what this channel is about. Personal development, positive mental attitude, and empowerment. This is the stuff that is making me feel good, and I want you to feel like I feel, and especially when we're facing adversity like the crap I just described to you. So instead of running 10 kilometers, I ran 10 miles. I poured it on. I doubled down. I ran to the things that give me strength. You know, working out and running will empower you, will give you strength. and you know, lift heavier weight, lift more weight, run further. It will help you instead of wallowing in, you know, I'm just going to sit at the house and pour and drink 2 pots of coffee, basically fill my body with a bunch of stuff that's making my nerves on fire, going, all right, dude, you called for the energy, now do something with it. And you just sit there and like just stew or send out shitty emails, texts, voicemails, that kind of stuff. Just pour it into something that gives you power. You know, when I was running along here, you know, I see people in wheelchairs pulled up on the boardwalk, you know, as close as they can get to the ocean. And I said to myself, you know what, I'm running this for you. It doesn't make much sense, but it does make sense. I don't know, I can't explain it. But, you know, at these times like this, the things that we can do to sort of raise our frequency of vibration are work out and run, and also help somebody out that's in worse shape than you are. Now I know I'm not really like helping somebody in a wheelchair, but it's kind of a spiritual thing. Like I'm trying to, in my head, like I just doing it for that person. I don't know, man. It makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. But it felt right to kind of say that in my mind, in my heart. You know, I'm going to run this for you, because you know, when somebody is like that, man, they're just sort of like screaming out from their heart and soul, like, man, you get to work out, you get to go to work. So anyway, that's something I take with me, and maybe it makes sense to you, and it might help you. But so, oh shoot, I had a card that I made up too, that goes along. Well, you know what, I'm going to try to wing it. So with regards to, you know, these people that are they're sabotaging our relationships. Like I said, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. But it doesn't mean they can't change. You know, I'm a different person than I was 10 years ago, or hell, probably 6 months ago. People can change. So the people that are causing me adversity in my life, I try not to argue back with them, because it's just going to make them dig in harder. You can't fight hate with hate. And the 2 major movements, you know, in history that embody that, you know, when Gandhi unified India to break free of British colonialism, you know, they just employed civil disobedience. They're like, look, you know, it's not really right that you people from an island 7,000 miles away govern us.
And we outnumber you like 19-1, and you exploit all of our resources and basically enslave us. That's kind of not right. So we're not going to rise up and like murder you, but we're going to
have a change, and we're going to do it peacefully. And like, you know, and so with Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement, you know, they're like, yeah, it's not really right that, you know, we can't vote and own property and hold office.
And use the same bathrooms as you because we're a different color. So we're kind of planting our flag right there. And yeah, even though you spray us with freaking fire hoses and sick dogs on us, we're going to keep pushing this needle forward. We know it's the right thing, and you in your hearts know it's the right thing. This cat named Thomas Jefferson said something about, you know, all people being able to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
You dig? All right. So anyway, those 2 major movements used love and nonviolence to get the right outcome, what they were after. And so when these people are coming up on us, it's hard to love them. It's hard to love them back. So the best thing I know to do is be indifferent. You know, I send out love in my heart, but be indifferent. Work on myself. You know, something that Deepak Chopra talks about is called the law of least effort. And that's an element of that is defenselessness. And kind of Shakespeare actually tied into it too with this thing. He said, you know, she protesteth too much. You know, if you spend all your time trying to defend your point, that's a lot of energy that you're putting out. It's really unnecessary, and you can use it for something else. Because if you're not fighting them back, they're just going to run out of steam. You know, you want to be the palm tree in the storm, not the oak. You know, when the storm's over, the oak's split in half. The palm tree goes like this, and it's still standing after the storm's over. I wish I could articulate the defenselessness better, because it kind of makes it sound like, well, be a doormat. No, you're not being a doormat. You're using love and forgiveness. And now I'm kind of dancing around to Turn to Love. Read a little bit of that this morning as well. For some reason, these two books I just literally like opened the pages and they both kind of dealt with the same subject. People coming at you, and how to use love, and basically don't do it. You know, you don't need to fight back to get what you want. You just sort of keep doing what's right for you. You can stand your ground without being a doormat. You can use your no's and your yeses without anger and with dignity. Because a lot of these folks that are inflicting this harm on us, it's because their lives are fucked up. It's because it's not us. They're mad at themselves because they didn't take an opportunity, or they zigged when they should have zagged, and they're taking it out on you, like that freaking that bipolar brother sitting at your dad's house. He wishes he could hold a job and do the shit that you do, but instead he lashes out at you. But I do know that we don't fight them back with anger. We don't say, and it's so hard. It's so hard. I have the shittiest poker face in the world, man. Because when I'm mad, it's really hard for me to not show it. I'm like, I'll ask my wife, like, could you tell I was pissed off at the waiter? Yeah, I'm not really good at it, but I'm working on it, and I realize it, and I'm trying. So anyway, in the end, we work on ourselves. We empower ourselves. Okay, so we're back at my place now, and I literally ran out of memory on my iPhone. I take a lot of videos. So let's go ahead and put a cherry on top of this thing. I found my card, and I was going through it. I pretty much take notes on this thing like every morning. And so we'll tie back in to defenselessness, which was from the Least Law of Effort, described by Deepak Chopra. Let me show you. Shoot, it's this cool book right here. All my books are highlighted in, except this book is not highlighted at all, because there's no wasted words here. You highlight the stuff that's important and you leave the stuff out that's not. This book is thin. If you ever see it, it's going to have a nice cover on it. Anyway, this is one of my top go-to books. Anyway, Least Law of Effort. So defenselessness, I call it strength and restraint. So it goes a little bit like this. We have relinquished the need to convince or persuade others of our point of view. With that relinquishment, we will gain access to enormous amounts of energy that have previously been wasted. So, for example, somebody that has wanted to argue with me. That person said, well, I'm going to look back through the text messages and I'll show you where you offended me, blah, 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 blah. And that person is talking about going back through years of text. Well, you can take that same amount of energy and over like a few minutes, press a few buttons and make $800 today, or, you can take the same amount of energy, press buttons and make money instead. There we go. So there's your answer to 10K Tuesday on the financial side. We got some good trades today, right? Awesome. So moving right along, when we encounter resistance, we must recognize that if we force the situation, the resistance will only increase. So that goes into the oak tree and the palm tree. I believe we're just going to go ahead and wrap it up here. And man, I hope this has been of some help to you out there. That young woman years ago who looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, drunks don't lie. Combining that with what Robin Sharma said is, when somebody shows you themselves, believe them. Okay. Well, but that person can change. Whatever has happened to us in the past, it does not have to be the predictor of our future. We can forgive, but it's hard to forget. And I do know a handful of people that have actually changed. It's a very small number. People do not tend to change. That same scallywag we knew back in high school,
is probably a scallywag now, but maybe not. Maybe not. So the greatest thing we can do as people is our capacity to change our minds. It's possible. And it's not necessarily from changing from a scallywag to, a police officer, a good police officer with, high moral standing. We could just take something good and make it better. We can do that too. So anyway, that person that's doing you dirty, keep an eye on them. Maybe they'll see the light. Maybe they'll ask you for forgiveness. Maybe they'll make a comeback. It's possible. So don't give up hope. And thanks so much for watching. Do not waste this day. And I'll see you next Tuesday. Probably going to run 10 kilometers as opposed to 10 miles. I hope I'm not worked up enough to run 10 miles next week. All right, take care. Thanks for watching. Bye. Wow.